Malaria is, of course, transmitted by mosquitoes. I brought some here so you could experience this. We'll let those roam around the auditorium a little bit. There. There's no reason only poor people should have the experience.
It's just after sunrise in Fresno, California, and this van circling a residential neighborhood is making a rather unusual delivery. It's hard to see with the naked eye, but flying out of this tube are thousands of mosquitoes, new additions to the community. Linus Upson is running this experiment for Verily, the life sciences corporate cousin of tech powerhouse Google. In total, they're releasing 1 million mosquitoes a week for 20 weeks this summer.
So you are going to release 20 million mosquitoes in the Fresno area. 20 million mosquitoes.
New additions to the community.
20 million mosquitoes in the Fresno area. Are neighbors not concerned about that?
Once people understand if we're successful, we're going to reduce the population, people are usually thrilled.
Okay, so I know that you walk outside your house every day and you worry about three things. There's three major concerns that you have. One, dengue fever. Secondary concern, yellow fever. And third, Zika. Now, I know that you're deadly afraid of these things because Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation told me so. They said that these are, major concerns. Bill and Melinda Gates looking out for us, looking out for them kids. They decided they got to do something about this. They got to take care of these mosquitoes. They're causing all these deadly diseases. Never mind that we haven't had a yellow fever case since 1905. It's not really a big risk. Zika, we did have a case in 2019. We had a case in 2019, guys. And, really, to be fair, there are 11 cases of dengue in Florida right now. Anyway, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about those stupid details, all right? Because Bill and Melinda Gates, they got your back. And look, they're way too smart for us. They're ahead of the game, all right? Us poor peasants can only sit here and try to fathom or grasp the concepts that they toss around with such proficiency. These geniuses decided to release 2 million mosquitoes out of their labs, out of these little boxes, and into your backyard. And this is after a pilot program which they released billions of mosquitoes, genetically engineered mosquitoes, to combat mosquitoes that transmit these 3 deadly diseases that you walk outside your door and are so afraid of on a daily basis. So they took these things, right? These genetically engineered mosquitoes, which are designed. Let me explain how this process works here, all right? These guys are really smart. I know us dumb people down here, we find it hard to, we find it hard to comprehend such lofty things. So these mosquitoes, which are genetically engineered, which means they're much better than anything God made. Much better, because Bill Gates is so much smarter. They took these mosquitoes, right? And so they're called the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. Basically means the Egyptian AIDS mosquitoes. Or Aedes also is very similar to Hades. Hades, AIDS. This is all spell-in, all right? Be mindful of that. This is spell-in. They utilize this not just to confuse you, but also to mock you because it's so fucking obvious. All right, you look at any old map of Egypt, it's called Aegyptus. All right, it's just a Greek word. All right, just a Greek word. It's not that hard to figure out. And so they do that for all these Latin terms, Latin Latin, Roman Empire, spell in. Okay? Enough of that. Move on. So these mosquitoes, all right, they're male mosquitoes. They're designed to mate with the normal female mosquitoes, the deadly ones, right, of the Aegypti Aedes variety, or Aedes Aegypti, whatever. They can flip it, they can invert it. It's still spell in. Break it down. Use diction, establish jurisdiction of the mind, at least of the mind, by understanding their spell in. Anyway, so these male mosquitoes are supposed to mate with these natural female mosquitoes and produce offspring, right? So these offspring, the female ones are supposed to die. The male ones, much like the human species that they've tried to modify, are going to be sterile, according to their theory. All right, they're saying that these male genetically engineered mosquitoes will mate with the natural mosquitoes and create offspring. If it's female, they will die. If it's male, they'll be sterile, gradually lessening the mosquito population in the United States. And that is their purported that's their purported objective, right? That's the science that they're basing it on. Now, keep in mind, they say that they dropped these mosquitoes. Now, this happened on March 11th. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. I've done several takes of this because I have technical issues like usual. Strangely, every time I try to talk about something really important, technical issues, left and right, all the time. It's very uncanny and weird. Doesn't matter what programs, what devices I use. I mean, I'm using pretty old school stuff. It's whatever. Anyway, so after years of supposed public commentary, of which I've not heard of. I mean, I've seen some random articles here and there, and I'm a researcher. So what does the normal man see? I don't know. But after years of comments from the public and consultation with this environmental protection agency and this and that agency, bunch of bullshit behind the scenes, bunch of finagling, bunch of hush-hush stuff, and then boom, they drop all these mosquitoes on two sides of the nation. You've got California, where they dropped it, and in Florida Keys. They wanted to hit it from both sides. Now, the official number was 2 million mosquitoes. Now, last year, they dropped 500 million mosquitoes during their pilot program, so I don't trust them. And they dropped untold amounts in Brazil as well, with disastrous results. So, as you can imagine, Florida residents were not cool with that. I wouldn't be cool with that either. It's not as though these guys aren't screwing with our lives on a daily basis. Now they want to dump mosquitoes in our backyard? They're playing God, and they're doing a very bad job. This doesn't just threaten you, it threatens your pets. Okay, so your pets at this point are subject to possible infection from these diseases that these mosquitoes carry. Now, hey, according to the theory, they're supposed to wipe out all mosquitoes, right? So female mosquitoes die, offspring, and male mosquitoes become sterile, right? Like I said? Well, that's not the case. In reality, what happens is these mosquito offsprings become hybridized. All right, they're hybridizations. They're hybrids. They're genetically engineered hybrids. They become more resistant to just about anything. They can spread disease way more efficiently than the regular mosquitoes. All right, it's like a monster they've unleashed. They have released this monster into our swamps, our air, our fields, our cities. This flying mosquito, this genetic engineered mosquito, is a syringe. Okay, so now let's think of the, not just implications, the possibilities of having a mosquito. And if you're Bill Gates, what are you obsessed with? All right, if you're Bill Gates, you're obsessed with stabbing little kids with needles, right? I mean, you're Bill Gates, right? That's, you love to stab little kids with needles. So what if you got billions of these little needles You could stab all sorts of people and they wouldn't know anything about it. You could stab their pets. You could stab their neighbors. It's just a great stab fest, you know? I mean, it's just a knife party. Syringe needles everywhere, blood. Look, flying syringe needles. That's what this is. These are COVID vaccines with wings, genetically engineered. All right, now I'm not saying they're carrying the so-called bullshit euthanasia potion. That's not what I'm saying. But they could be. You know, why not? It's a delivery system, right? It's a fucking delivery system. And anyway you look at it, you're still genetically engineering bullshit and fucking with nature. Hey, nothing good can come of this. Nothing good can come of this. I'm not preaching doom and gloom here. What happens when you release all these mosquitoes in the natural environment? Will the environment fight it back? Will it? I guess that remains to be seen, right? I mean, this was March 11th when they dropped this crap. How long does it take? You know this is a rainy season, right? What happens in a rainy season? I know, personally, mosquitoes lay eggs. I know that. If you leave sitting water in the backyard, you better dump it out or you're going to get mosquito eggs. All right? I mean, I live kind of by a river. This is something that you think about. You don't... you just don't leave sitting water in your backyard. So this is the season that mosquitoes are going to go nuts. They're going to go freaking crazy. The next month, next 2 months, 3 months, we're getting into the hot season. We're going to see what happens with this or not. Take a look at the COVID cases for one thing. I don't know. You think we're going to spread so-called COVID? You think it's going to spread AIDS? I don't know. I mean, hey, it's called the Aedes aegypti, the Egyptian AIDS mosquito. Keep your eyes open. And I wouldn't necessarily be spraying pesticide on yourself because you don't know what the fuck that is either. And you don't want to sit there and get vaccinations against this stuff. You don't know what's in those either. You can't trust these fuckers. You cannot trust them. Don't get a flu vaccine. Don't get a COVID vaccine. Don't get a Zika vaccine. Don't trust their genetically engineered mosquitoes. We're dealing with some dangerous shit. I mean, I'm serious. Just watch your back. Just watch your back.
I see the stars come out of the sky. Yeah, the bright and hollow sky. You know it looks so good tonight. Sing a la la.